don't know what's come over Jimmy. He won't do his homework. He only salutes the flag with one finger, and he comes home every night with other people's blood on his shirt.
He's a rebel, I tell you. A rebel without a cause. Just like that boy in that popular movie we saw.
Que te adoraba tiernamente, y a tu lado como nunca me sentí, y por esas cosas raras de la vida, sin el beso de tu boca yo me vi. Amor de mis amores, reina mía.
Hey everybody, welcome back to What the Hell Happened to Them? Jack Attacks the Cast. That's right, this week, Jack Nicholson. I am your host, Patrick Skeyhill, and joining me on the line is a man in his bedroom, Joe Vekeman.
Right down the middle, that's me.
That's you. I'm telling no lies. And on the audio boards is Lev Van Rensselaer reminding me to remind you that you can email the cast at whathappenedtothemcast@gmail.com. And our sponsor this week is Hardwood Floors. You tired of those softwood floors? Get some hardwood in there now. Ever have a bad step again?
Excuse me?
Yeah.
Excuse me?
You don't want a softwood floor. You know, as floors get older,
You just want to. You just said, do you want to stick some hardwood in there?
Yeah, you gotta get some hardwood.
Yeah, I don't know if the sponsor would like for you to be.
You don't want it all soft and gooey when the time comes. You know,
all
you
right,
have some nice, attractive company over. Gotta get some hardwood ready to go.
Oh boy. I just want to say, we were talking with this actor, Cameron Mitchell, who is top billed in this movie that we just watched. I will hold off on telling you the title of the movie we just watched, though, because I'm going to tell you that in 1980, Cameron Mitchell was in a movie called Frankenstein Island.
Wow!
What do you think of that? Okay. Yeah, we watched the Rebel Rousers from 1970.
It's true. What happens in this movie?
What happens? Some bikers beat up some squares who turn the law for help and get a shrug. I don't agree.
I mean, kind of. It's like a motorcycle high noon, right?
My problem was that usually in these biker movies, especially with the one we watched a couple weeks ago, Easy Rider, the bikers have been given more to do instead of just, hoot and holler. These guys are just, real kind of pieces of shit, trying to beat up the guy and steal his woman and then having bike races on the beach for it. I don't really think that's I don't know. I think there should be more to it. It felt like we went 10 years before we watched these movies and we're like, oh, okay.
Let me add.
Go on.
First.
Yes, add stuff.
The plot to Frankenstein Island.
Oh shit, you looked it up.
It is not well reviewed. It is a 2 out of 10 on IMDb, a 1.6 out of 5 on Letterboxd, and a 27% on whatever the hell Just Watched is. 4 balloonists are stranded on a remote island with a woman believed to be a descendant of Dr. Frankenstein, who is conducting experiments on stranded sailors. John Carradine plays Victor Frankenstein.
So it's a Halloween movie. I should watch this, right?
I mean, it's on Pluto TV. Go check it out.
So I don't have to pay for it.
I bet no one's paid for it in a long time. Frankenstein Island. All right, well, so we've done a lot of these biker, hippie, exploitationist kind of films, and what a lot of them seem to have was like these long, drawn-out scenes, verite scenes of just like these subgroups doing their thing. We've talked about that before. And so when they're at the diner for like 8 minutes, I go, okay, well, nothing is actually happening here, but this is what the styles of films have done. So I say, okay. And then I realize, well, the movie also is like 77 minutes long. Maybe they just did, maybe these movies do this to pad out the running time because the scripts are so thin. And then it turns out, well, it must be because legitimately 3 things happen in this movie. 3 whole things go on in this movie, and then the movie's over. It's just done.
Yep, the end.
The end. Diane Ladd looks exactly like Laura Dern. It's crazy.
I mean, is this where they met?
Oh, listen, Laura Dern is in this movie.
Oh, okay, so no.
Laura Dern is, in fact, the bump in Diane Ladd's belly.
Oh, as she's taking down her, gin and tonic or something?
Yeah, she's genuinely pregnant in the movie. I almost
really
wonder
hope that
if,
was...
clearly one of these low-budget things, they're like, okay, we have this pregnant actress. I can come up with this quick story about a guy trying to win back this lady. And she's like, nah, I'm going to be my own woman. But then, you know what? She gets married at the end anyway or whatever, so...
it never came to me that it was a real baby in her belly.
I mean, I wouldn't have thought of it either, but I read this... How would I describe it? There was this book about Inland Empire, but what it was actually about was the actress Laura Dern. And I read this maybe 6 months... It was right at the beginning of the Jack Nicholson season. And it was, a lot of directors talk about the auteur theory. A lot of film critics talk about that too. But this one was about, what if the auteur is, in fact, the actor? You get some Laura Dern background information. I have to look up what it's called. I think it actually is just called Inland Empire, but it's from, Firefly's Press over in England. So I got a lot of background information, including the fact that she was a fetus during the filming of this movie.
Yeah, because I'm just checking this out now. Filmed in 1967. That makes way more sense now.
Yeah, no, we basically have the blood red of Jack Nicholson's career.
Yes.
A movie super terrible, and no one wanted to distribute it. And all of a sudden, Jack Nicholson's a big movie star.
Yep.
And now the really bad, dawdling, listless movie comes out.
I'm going to get a couple of books on Jack, too, so we can dive into him a little more. This one suggests, according to the biography book, Jack the Great Seducer.
Oh, yeah.
What a book title.
Oh, baby.
This is the only Jack Nicholson movie of his that he never watched. Wow.
I don't blame him.
Truly the blood red of his career. He's way more in this than half of the movies we've watched already of his.
And yet, he also, which is not saying much, because he's not really in, for being top billed above Bruce Dern, doesn't really say anything for the first half of the film, and then doesn't really do much in the second half until the very, very end.
You want to know something, though? I was able to keep track of him a lot easier this time because he has the zebra pants.
Which he picked out himself.
They really help distinguish him from the rest of the people wearing the Confederate flag jackets, which I did not enjoy.
Yeah, it hasn't aged well. Mm-hmm.
I believe the poster I'm looking at right now has a giant Confederate flag on it.
Yeah, I've been told Jack Nicholson picked out those pants specifically to stand out from the rest of the generic bikers, including our good friend and his roommate, Harry Dean Stanton.
Oh, yeah. That's weird that he's in there, too.
I don't even know which one was him. I couldn't tell.
He was the one that sounded like Harry Dean Stanton. Whenever he talked, I'm like, oh, that's him. I can hear him.
Well, he's just billed as Dean Stanton.
Clear and plain. I wasn't a fan of this one because it was really just cruel.
This movie just sucked. It just was not well made. It was not. I actually was a little, at the beginning, there's a shot where the main guy... what's his name? Cameron Mitchell? He walks into, the little room that Diane Ladd lives in. We start on, a bird, and then we kind of dolly out to the guy behind the counter, and that gives us room to see Cameron Mitchell come in. And I go, oh, okay, this got kind of a flourishy directing move there. That's not bad. And never again do we see anything like that. He used it all up on that one shot right at the beginning. And then the audio is so bad, I don't even know if I'm understanding what people are saying half the time. And I don't know why people are doing things half the time. And I don't know. I think a good 40 minutes of this film is just dead air. It's just random the extras are just doing whatever they want.
Yeah. Can I read you the tagline to this movie? They laid waste to the flesh and blood of America's daughters. Fuck off.
Yeah, compared to the other subgroup movies we have, I know there's an Americanized traditionalization of them at the end. Like the ones that are really out there, really bikers or really hippies kind of are the bad guys. But like the other ones are just kind of like, look, here's the kind of wacky life they lead. This one's very anti-biker. It feels written and directed by a person that has never met a biker. And it's just trying to scare us. Like this, unlike the other ones, which were exploitative to get teens into the theater to be like, wow. This one was like didactic to the teens or was trying to get the parents in to be like, see, this is what I'm worried about, Timmy.
Yeah, what I was saying earlier, Martin B. Cohen, the director of this movie, never made another movie again. This was his sole effort. Yeah,
I hope he's not proud of it.
He should never be making movies again. Let him produce. He's produced movies. He's edited some movies. He wrote this movie.
Oh, wrote? This movie had a writer? Are we sure?
Yeah, he's the
There's like 4 scripted scenes in the whole thing.
And we somehow have 3 credited writers. Some people just want to get paid.
Yeah, you might as well have no credited writers.
5 cents.
I would take my name. I would do the whatever, the Lynch Dune thing and just get my name off of it.
So yeah, did not like this movie. The only thing I could say that I liked about it were Jack's. And it was mainly because it was easier to tell who he was.
What was his name? Like Bunny? Is that his name?
I believe his name was Bunny.
It's not a bad name.
I don't think these were names, but their other biker friends were called Rebel, and I got one more. It says Rebel.
They're all just rebels.
They're all just
named
rebels.
them. Bruce Dern names them all. I don't remember any of them. I thought like it was gonna be like a Lost Boys Peter Pan thing. They were all gonna have like little wacky characteristics. No, they were all just bikers.
These guys, the rest of these people don't have names. They're just townspeople.
Yeah, there was like fat cop, regular cop, priest man.
I mean, even that's more descriptive than townspeople.
Yeah.
Give me something to work with.
Yeah. In an interesting bookend, I guess it's not really a bookend, but compared to 1959, when Jack Nicholson did, what was that movie? The Love Me, Say You Love Me movie?
Oh, God. What is that movie called?
I know.
I don't want to look it up.
Well, he did that movie, and they couldn't at all say abortion. But in this movie, they're talking about it all willy-nilly. The 70s have
like
come,
6 minutes in.
ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
We're in a new America. This is Nixon's America. Abortion's fair game.
Are you talking about the Crybaby Killer?
No, the one after that.
Okay.
Yeah, you'd think we know as leading Jack Nicholson scholars.
Well, because they're the first 20 blended together pretty
Jack Nicholson's
easily.
career spanning a transitioning zeitgeist. Like Jack Nicholson's just acting his butt off right before he's about to explode.
It wasn't The Wild Ride, right?
Way earlier.
I'm not
We're
saying
never
it.
going to know.
Well, there is a way of knowing. But
You know what it's called? Too Soon to Love.
Oh, yeah. The one with the beach poster.
Yeah.
Okay. A Richard Rush joint.
Yeah.
I've watched 5 of his movies this year.
Yeah, Bruce Dern doesn't seem to know how to run. It's so awkward when he's running. I wonder if it's because the camera could only move so fast, but he's not a good-looking runner.
He's no Tom Cruise.
I don't know why everybody was so infatuated with the one pregnant woman when there were 2 other women just kind of chilling right over there without any lines.
Good point.
Yeah, like they didn't... One of them has to guard Diane Ladd very briefly. Leave me alone, I can't run anywhere. And the other woman's like, all right. And then she walks away. I don't know if it technically counts as a Bechdel test passing scene. I don't, like, the bikers aren't really discussed, but kind of are.
I'm going to fail it.
Very subjective. All right. That's fine with me.
Bruce Dern is just, like, chatting away with Diane Ladd towards the end of the movie on the beach where they're doing their bike racing. And he's like, don't worry, I'm not going to let anything happen to you. Because they're 3 credited screenwriters. Do you think he was just like, I have better dialogue because I love this woman. This is my baby in her belly. I'm going to take care of her. Let me speak from the heart. Michael B. Cohen.
No,
He's never going to let anything happen to her.
It just confused me. He's like, nobody can go near this woman until the bike racing is done. And then he immediately goes near her and then, like, walks somewhere else. Why can't the conversation happen there? Why did it need to go else? What was you made it harder on yourself, shooting team. You clearly didn't have a budget to work with, so what was the point here?
Yeah.
I'm happy that everybody knows this is a bad movie.
It's a very bad movie.
Like, unlike when a Doctor Strange comes out, And everybody's like, wow. And you're like, no, this is bad, guys. Why are you doing this? But like this one, everybody's on the board. Even the people involved in it. Yeah, wasn't our best.
It's just, this is before Psycho. Remember Psycho? I'm pretty sure it was made before Psycho.
Yeah, if it wasn't made before, it was made at the same time. I don't know if Psycho was 67 or 68.
This said January 67. I can't imagine this going past 2 weeks of shooting. Like,
no, certainly, yeah, that
days.
movie got it right. I would say even Hell's Angels on Wheels. Is that the name of that movie?
Yeah.
I think that one got
Hell's
it right.
Angels on Wheels, very clunky title, but yes, that is the title.
I think that one got it right. Like, I think those are both fine. You know, Hell's Angels certainly worse than Psych Out, but better constructed and a little bit more thought out. You know, there's not a very strong narrative thread, but it feels like a movie. Like, I get what it's doing more. I don't know what this one. This one is just like, uh-oh, the bikers are coming. Ah!
Yeah, and the new poster on Letterboxd would really make you believe that it's Jack's movie, and it's really not. Does he die again at the end of this movie? I couldn't tell. I know he was like on the ground. It
looks like he died, like he falls onto his own knife and then just crawls away and dies, and then the movie is over.
So I think we should have started taking a little tally. I'll try to go back in and find the movies that he's died in. He's died in a lot of these movies, though.
Well, he's usually the bad guy.
Still, he dies in a lot of his movies. I didn't remember that when I was growing up. I'm gonna start taking. Yeah, I'm gonna start keeping track. This is my thing. I'm doing.
I will do the kill count.
Bulleted.
The kill. There we go. That's a nice segment.
Kill count. Yeah. I don't want to call out the composer for his lazy composing. Because
we're just taking a big steamy dump on this movie.
Because the two things he's composed for this movie are pretty okay. Problem is, it's only two things used over and over again. You got hard rock and roll music for the bikers, and then for, the sheriff and the townspeople, like goofy clown circus music. And I don't know why they're both in the same movie, and they're not super creatively mapped out, and I just hear them over and over again. So, yeah, a little lazy. Was Jack Nicholson like a lifelong gearhead biker guy at the end of this run?
Funny.
Like, he's pretty good at riding them at this point.
Yeah, he worked on The Trip, the one we didn't cover.
He's not in. I'm not doing it.
He wrote it. That's the thing. That's the only thing he's got on it. He wrote it.
Yeah, I don't want to open up that door.
It's got Peter Fonda, Bruce Dern, and Dennis Hopper.
Got the whole gang.
And Beach Dickerson. Can't forget about him.
Yeah, Richie Dix.
It's his most famous movie is The Trip.
I think he was in this movie, wasn't he?
He was in a movie called Attack of the Crab Monsters by Roger Corman.
If there ever a director of a movie titled that, it would have to be.
It has to be. He's not even top billed. He's like 7 down the list.
I'm sad Jack wasn't in that one. I'd watch Crab People movie.
I know.
Give me that all day over this. Good Lord.
You got any updates from The Rock?
Yes, I do.
Because I'm Rebel Roused out.
Yeah, it's not much for us here.
It's Martin. I keep calling him Michael. It's Martin B. Cohen. I have no respect for that.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Think he's still alive?
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Well, that one was kind of mean. We don't wish you dead, Mr. Cohen.
No.
All right, you know what? Maybe I don't have a... I thought I had a rock watcher. Oh, I do.
I was a rock watcher.
This is from October 7th on WrestlingInc.com. Here's the headline. Big update on The Rock's presidential ambitions.
Feels so ominous. I'm so scared.
Arguably the biggest name to ever come out of the WWE, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson has been dominating Hollywood during his time away from the squared circle. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
What do they call it?
Squared circle. Square, and there's a spotlight.
Okay. Becoming one of the industry's highest paid actors, his dominance in different fields of work has led many to suggest other people, not The Rock, they're suggesting The Rock could be great at another job running the United States of America. Johnson has openly entertained the opportunity in the past, and
because he's an entertainer.
And many have come to his defense on the situation, stating they believe the Great One would be a great person for the presidential role. Interestingly, no one's bringing up his TV show in this article. But essentially, what he's saying is, I'm not going to run in 2024. which makes sense.
For one thing, he's got a wrestling match he's got coming up with his cousin.
Well, here's his reason for not running in 2024, arguably a terrible year to run, is I got 2 little girls, and they need a daddy right now, and I gotta be there for them. Maybe someday in the future, who's to say, but right now, kids, number 1 priority. America's gonna have to take a back
What is he
seat.
saying about Barack, then?
Well, his kids now, I guess, are like 7. Barack's daughters were like in high school.
Really?
Yeah.
When he was... Oh, wow. I thought they were much younger.
I mean, I guess he was in there for 8 years, so it could have been. I just remember, like, them looking at colleges and stuff. And, like, what a great... If there was ever a time to be applying to colleges, it's when your father is president.
Yeah, absolutely.
You are getting into any school. Like, I don't even know why you even bother with the essay. You're just like, oh, you know, my greatest achievement in life was having a father who's the first black president. I worked really hard on that. Wink.
Good for them, though.
But listen, I don't believe The Rock anyway. Like, it doesn't matter. I think The Rock just was never going to run in 2024. Regardless of whether Biden decides to run again or not, like, it just wasn't a good time.
He should wait till he's 60.
2028? Fair game. It just feels like he's more pre-marketing. It's like, guys, I can't do it now. I've got 2 little girls. I love them with all my heart. I'm a good dad. Way to endear yourself to the American public. Very smart. Now, I might be being aggressively cynical, and we might be pushing this Rock presidential narrative, but that's where I'm at right now. The Rock setting
we're
himself
calling
up for
our
later.
shot. We are predicting the future. We are the Simpsons.
We're going to have a whole episode of all of these clips as soon as he announces it. And we're like, we were right.
We were on the forefront of this.
Come to our show to hear more Simpsons-like prophecies, please.
Terrifying. I don't want to be that predicting that future, though.
Listen, he doesn't have to win. He just has to run. And then we're right.
Okay, yep.
I think we have to ask America if they're ready for the hierarchy of the United States to be changed forever.
Why?
Well,
Do you smell what the Rock is cooking? Is that how he opens up his first presidential
that's
speech?
the Rock. Yeah, that's the Rock talking about the DC universe all the time. The hierarchy's changing.
he looks at the
Black
American
Adam's
people.
coming
He's
out.
like, "Fuck, we're so screwed." So screwed. This is what happens when you elect the Celebrity Apprentice.
Yeah, I know. The floodgates are open now. It's too late.
Over.
It's not weird anymore for The Rock to be
Reagan,
president.
what? He was in... What movie? Was he in, like, popular movies, though? Like, for the time?
Donald Trump? Well, he was in Home Alone, too.
Ronald Reagan.
Ronald Reagan? In the 80s? No. But in the 50s? Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Old school, cool guy cowboy.
He was much... Like, that persona was much, like, done by the time.
You know what the advantage Ronald Reagan had over Donald Trump was? He'd been in government before.
Ah, there you go.
You know, he put in the Screen Actor Guild, and then he was governor of California. Like, he had experience being in... Whatever you think of his politics, he had a background. He wasn't just, like, bad businessman and failed TV show host thing. I don't want to say failure is too hard, because, like, he did have a couple good seasons, but then it just went away, and no one cared.
I feel like it was one of those shows that, like, reality shows that was on, like, way longer than you actually remembered it. You're like, oh, it's still going.
Well, like, you know, and like with most reality TV shows, the first year, very big. Everybody in my middle school was watching it. Made sense. And then afterwards, like, everybody forgot and moved on.
So, I need to ask you, 'tis the season, are you going to boot up Hubie Halloween?
Maybe. I'm going to watch this new Hellraiser movie because the casting director of my most recent film was the casting director of this movie.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah. He did it right before he started working with me.
All right, I'll watch it.
He told me the story about how they picked the pinhead, and we can talk about that another time, but it was really cool.
And get some inside info there.
Yeah, I'll give you a sneak peek. All right, and our man on the street, Mr. Paul Geremini, has sent me stuff.
On the street, I think there's something stuck on my feet. Life is great, I feel great. I could eat a whole pound of ham. Hello, Mr. Sidewalk, how'd you get
I don't know if this is really newsworthy. I'm only bringing it up because he's been upset. We haven't featured him in a while because he has sent me other non-newsworthy things.
Bring him in for an episode. What does he want to do?
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, come back, Mr. Jeremini.
Come on.
Has he done a
Don't
Jack
have him
Nicholson
on.
with us yet?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Anyway, it was a Reddit article he sent me, and the title of it was called Film Snobs on Reddit, Who was the single worst casting choice in Hollywood film history? All right, you ready for a hot take? It's like medium warm. It's a lukewarm take.
Who's the worst? So what is it? Who's the worst
The
casting
worst
choice?
casting done in a Hollywood film. One person, Horrible Harry, says, I don't know about worst of all time, but Julia Roberts and Michael Collins was super jarring. Her Irish accent was willy-nilly, which is true. And when it was on, it was still pretty terrible. Maybe. Plus, she just looked out of place, like they dropped a supermodel into the middle of the Irish Civil War. Not that there weren't good-looking people in Ireland at the time, but you shove a big name and a face like hers into the historical period piece like that, you're just asking for trouble. Should have went with an Irish accent actress. Yeah, maybe an Irish actress would work. I don't think she was like a huge movie star at the time, though, was she?
Pretty Woman was out. She was huge.
Yeah, all right. That's true.
That movie was a global phenomenon.
Well, and Liam Neeson had just done Satisfaction, so. He's
Very
pretty big,
funny.
too.
You're so cheeky.
And then another one right underneath. It gets cut off.
I mean, I agree with that. That was a bad casting choice.
And
I agree
then
with that.
one
I'm
underneath
sorry.
by Feats of Daring Do says she did another movie where she had to do an Irish accent. It was called Mary Riley. And I go, oh, yeah.
Ugh.
I don't think she even tried in that movie, though.
It's a bad movie.
Yeah, both not great movies. It's a darker time. We learned her chasing...
Were those back to back?
Yeah, her chasing Oscars there wasn't working for her.
Yeah, just go hook up with Soderbergh.
And then it just kind of happened naturally, and you were making better movies, so like everybody won. All right, Joe, you ready for a Watergate watch?
Watergate, Watergate, oh, Watergate. Watch.
Can't believe there's another one. I thought they were all done.
Well, so...
You found another one?
Yeah, this one I did off your recommendation, The Assassination of Richard Nixon.
Oh, God. Why? Why did you find that? How did you find that?
It was very tough. But you told me to watch it, so I watched it.
Okay.
So this movie doesn't really have anything to do with Watergate. It only has stuff to do with Nixon. And so, going forward, I just want to clarify, Watergate Watch is about Watergate. Is Nixon in a lot of these? Yeah. But you know what? There's a lot of Watergate things that don't have Nixon in it, or he's not prominent. So the goal of Watergate Watch is not to learn about Richard Nixon, it's to learn about Watergate. There are a million Nixon movies. We're not doing them for Watergate Watch. If they're tied in with Watergate, great. I did this one. I kind of like this movie, so don't regret it.
Wow.
Yeah, I kind of did.
I watched it when I was young, a lot younger, like probably way too young to even like understand.
I don't know
what was going
how
on.
great it would be on a rewatch, but I enjoyed myself here. Sean Penn's all right. There is an attempt at an interesting character study here. I wonder if it's a little too broad-stroked, if there wasn't enough information to go on, but there is something here. There is a commentary that it was relevant in the year it came out in 2004 and probably still relevant today about, the 1% having so much power and most people not having control over their lives. There's a death of a salesman feel to this. Was he already crazy or did the nation make him so? There's enough here to like and enjoy. But it's like a less stylistically adventurous, clean-shaven. Don't know if you've seen that movie.
No.
But,
I'll look that up.
Yeah, so this is about the man who attempted an assassination of Richard Nixon. And by attempt, I mean, he sort of tried to hijack a plane, and then it didn't go well. And then also security at airports didn't beef up then. Very odd. Yeah, he goes in with a gun, he shoots an air marshal, and he runs onto a plane, and he tries to hijack it, and I go, okay, we didn't get the increased security at airports because of that. Like, the movie's so old, Joe, he leaves a bag behind, accidentally, there's not a bomb in it, but then, an officer runs up to him and says, sir, you forgot your bag. That's kind of silly. And I go, well, that wouldn't happen today.
No.
He would immediately get arrested and called in for questioning. So we wouldn't do movies like this again. But HBO's got a new Watergate series coming out.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
The White House Plumbers, starring Woody Harrelson as H.R. Haldeman and Justin Theroux as G. Gordon Liddy.
All right, I'm 100% in. I will watch that show. They got me. Those two guys, all right. I just looked at Clean Shaven, though. The star of Clean Shaven is the man who plays Zed in Pulp Fiction.
Did not know that.
Jesus Christ.
Good movie. I liked it a lot. Cool indie film.
It's a movie that comes out the year before. So maybe Tarantino saw Clean Shaven and he was like, that's my Zed.
I could see him watching that movie. Oh, yeah. That's
I could too.
So the assassination of Richard Nixon came out in 2004. Had Mystic River already come out yet?
Same year.
Okay.
No, sorry, the year after. 2003 was Mystic River.
All right, so maybe like that's what helped the movie. So the movie has a crazy amount of fancy name producers. The executive producers are Alexander Payne and Leonardo DiCaprio.
Insane.
An actual producer is Alfonso Cuarón.
Wow.
The associate producers are Emmanuel Lubezki, and I'm presuming Alfonso Cuarón's relative Carlos. Maybe this movie was kind of trying to be made or like getting made but couldn't get edited or distributed, and these guys all said, hey, Sean Penn, talented guy, this movie, pretty important, let's go. And they all pulled together to make this movie happen.
So that's the year after Penn won his first Oscar for Mystic River. That is the year after does his Harry Potter movie that pretty huge for him because it was like a big mainstream movie for him.
Oh, it was quite mainstream. Mm-hmm.
Well, like I'm saying, like I think before that he had A Little Princess, which was a decent hit, I think. But that was like his like, hey, this director, I mean, is a big guy. Because do you know who directed the first two Harry Potters?
No.
Chris Columbus.
Oh, I did know that. Yeah, that makes sense.
Those movies are insanely long. I believe the second Harry Potter movie is 3 hours long. And it's a kids movie. That is a straight up kids, like just for kids. Like, what? Why?
Well, they had more attention back then, Joe. It was a different time.
I guess so. Ellie likes that movie.
See?
And it's 3 hours long. It's crazy.
And you're like, all right, time for daddy to take a nap.
That's a 3 hour now. That's a good nap.
We got a raven-haired Naomi Watts, fresh off of Mulholland Drive.
I think she's fresh off of 21 Grams with Sean Penn.
They're buds now. Yeah, she's not well utilized in here. She's not too much in it.
Of course not. That's like her whole career.
Yeah, I have. I would cast you, Naomi Watts. I would do it.
Me too. She was a favorite of mine for a long time.
You are a delight. The plot structure of this movie is Penn narrating his manifesto, as all would-be assassins have. Because he wrote a manifesto and mailed it to composer Leonard Bernstein that he felt was the only one who could understand why he did what he did. Why? Well, Sean Penn's crazy, that's why.
Does this movie get, 10 points better if Paul Schrader writes and directs it?
I mean, I think that would certainly help quite a deal.
Everything you're saying is
this movie's not unwatchable, but this, I feel like some of this movie is a bit surface level. You could really probe an interesting type of thing. You basically do have kind of a Travis Bickle, like a real life Travis Bickle. I don't know, it just has a little less edge to it. He's given off some strong Gordon Liddy vibes, Sean Penn's character, for some reason. Like he clearly is not in the same world as everybody else.
He's got the mustache.
But the movie sort of describes Nixon as the greatest salesman. He was able to sell himself to America on the platform of ending the war twice, and wasn't very good at that until right at the very end. He bombed Cambodia a shit ton, and then came back the second time and was like, this time we're really going to end the war. Everybody's like, sweet, wins in a landslide. And so Sean Penn's character's thing is that he was in sales of tires, but his brother was lying about the markups to the customers. And now he's selling office supplies, and he hates lying there too. So he wants to open a business with Don Cheadle where they're not going to be lying salesmen, but then can't get a business loan because the bank's like, you're not going to make any money if you are not lying to your customers. And he's like, but that's not the way America should be, man. That's not what we should be doing here. So that's part of its attempt on critiquing of American society and Nixon. But I think the movie could have gone farther, but it was a perfectly fine watch. I had no regrets watching it. Pseudo-Watergate watching will be much more germane in our future Watergate watches. All right, Joe. I think we can wrap it up there. What's our last looks on Rebel Rousers?
I will go again with thank you, Jack, for finding those zebra pants. I could tell who you were this time in this movie. They're all they have long hair, beards, and sunglasses on. It's really hard to tell which one's which.
It is. It is very tough.
The zebra pants was a big help.
You thank God Bruce Dern is in weird dad t-shirt and doesn't have anything on his head. Why does Jack Nicholson do this movie? Well, because it was made in 1967, and he did not know if he was going to be a big star or even continue acting, so he took whatever role he could get. And he took this role, and some of his pals are here, and he worked with Cameron Mitchell before, and Cameron Mitchell and Jack were just like, yeah, the shooting was way better.
Bruce Dern, he was with his...
Yeah, Bruce Dern's his friend, too. You know, they're just hanging out.
Right,
they get to do motorcycle stuff. They're apparently not working very hard. Jack Nicholson gets to sit out for half the movie. I don't blame him for doing this since he was nobody at the time. I bet a lot of people post Easy Rider were like, why did he pick this movie? Not realizing...
Doesn't matter. We have a Kingdom of Riches coming up.
Oh, next week we take a little Jack Nicholson break for a bit, right? Because we have 2 alumni films coming out. Yeah, the next episode released will be Black Adam, and then immediately after that we'll follow up with whatever Julia Roberts movie's called. I forget.
Trip to Paradise.
Okay.
Something like that.
Trip to Paradise. They come out the same week, but Black Adam might be our most highly anticipated episode ever.
I can tell you, I am anticipating it just a little tiny bit because you know what? It's only 2 hours. It's not 2.5. Thank you, Rock.
That just shows DC doesn't know. They're like, oh, we don't have enough material here. Let's just get in and out.
I appreciate that.
We cannot tell an actual story here. Yeah, everybody messaging me, wanting to know when this movie is, making fun of me for having to watch them. There's a lot of schadenfreude with our audiences. They want to see me in pain, it seems.
I don't like that. I like watching the movies and enjoying the movies.
Our episodes that do the best seem to be the ones where we drastically hate the movie.
Well, here you go, folks.
And then weirdly, Fast and Furious 6 for some reason. So Black Adam's coming, then Ticket to Paradise, then we're back with Jack Nicholson. So stay tuned with all of that.
You had it. No, you had it. It's not Trip to Paradise. You said it right. It is Ticket to Paradise.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, you got it.
I said Ticket to Paradise? Oh, man. My subconscious taking care of business. Good work.
All right.
So stay tuned for all of that. We look forward, to Julia Roberts' movie. Nah, yes. I'm not even looking forward to that. That feels pretty generic.
It looks fun.
Yeah.
It's George and Julia.
We'll see.
That's fun.
We have some great guests lined up for those, and stay tuned. And then after, when we come back with Jack Nicholson, 5 Easy Pieces.
Yes, thank God.
Yeah, so real movie there. So, right.
A real run coming up.
Yeah, all right. We're into some good 70s films here. All right, I'd like to thank our sponsor, Softwood Floors. Wait, our sponsor can't be Softwood Floors. People like hardwood floors. Maybe that's why Softwood feels the need to sponsor.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, you give me nothing, huh, Joe? All right.
I have no...
I'm just here reading the copy.
What are you doing here?
Get off my back.
Read the copy, then. Let's go.
All right. I'd like to thank Lev Van Rensselaer, the audio maven, making the sounds that we are craving, making us sound all slippery smooth. I'd like to thank Joe Vekeman for stopping by, still in his room.
Oh, thank you.
And I'm your host, Patrick Skeyhill. You may find my features, documentaries, short films, video essays, animations, behind-the-scenes footage, and so much more at QuixoticUnited.com and social media, presumably with a similar sounding name. Thank you all for listening. Joe, say goodnight.
Good night. Did you know that Laszlo Kovacs shot My Best Friend's Wedding? It's one of his last movies.
I think we talked about it when we went to that episode, and we were like, what? No, yeah, DPs can work all the time.
Yeah.
They have less pre-production work to do. They have very minimal post-production, especially back then. There wasn't too much they could do because there wasn't color correcting. So, in the time it takes a director to make a movie, like in a 5-year span, a director could make like 2 movies, maybe 3. A DP could do like 15.
All right, I haven't seen these movies, but I mean, the end of this run it really went out with a whimper for Laszlo. I mean, after My Best Friend's Wedding, which is, let's be real, a career high in the 90s. I mean, come on, that's great. That's truly a great movie. We agree with that,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, but the cinematography is not the standout part of the movie.
Yeah, but I'm just saying he was part of it. He was on the team. The next movie he went to was the Michael Keaton Snowman movie, Jack Frost.
Uh-oh. He's at the end of his life, and he's like, I need something my grandkids can watch.
And then he did the 2000 romantic comedy drama, Return to Me, starring David Duchovny and Minnie Driver. This is one of many David Duchovny, I don't want to be on TV anymore, I want to be a movie star vehicles.
Yeah, it never really worked out for him, did it? In this movie I've never heard of.
Then the last two he did were two back-to-back Sandy Bullocks. Miss Congeniality, which I've heard is pretty good, and 2 Weeks Notice, which I've heard is really bad.
2 weeks notice.
Yeah, it's her and Hugh Grant, and on a $60 million budget, it made $199. So who gives a fuck if it's good or bad?
Yeah.
When you're making that kind of money, it doesn't matter.
Joe, what did Kanye do now? Why is everybody mad at him this week?
I don't want to talk about that person. I don't want to talk about him.
Oh man,
he's a bad man.
It sounds like it's gotten really bad.
Yeah, it was very anti-Semitic what he said, and I don't want to give him the time of the day.
He pulled the Gibson on us, huh? The Mel Gibson.
I don't know what he's doing, and I just don't care anymore. His music has sucked for the last 7 or 8 years.
Oh wow!
Everything he's put out is just yuck.
Well, then, in brighter news, let's talk about what we should get on the Criterion this sale.
Oh yes. Oh, I bought stuff.
I asked you for recommendations. I'm like, oh, he must be so busy. He's tired. He's got a family.
No, you got a few hours. We can discuss it right now.
Wow.
You got till noon.
What'd you get?
I need to look it up because I already forgot.
My Lost Highway came in yesterday. Did yours?
I just got it on Blu-ray, so I'm gonna wait a little bit because
that's rough.
I just watched it. Yeah, I had no idea it was coming.
No, I didn't either. I didn't think it was gonna come out at all if it had just come out.
So I'll wait around till maybe next year when the next sale goes on.
Yeah.
So I literally just watched it, and then I didn't really have a good time watching it. And I know it's not a feel-good movie, but just...
Yeah, it's no 2 weeks notice, Joe. I'll tell you that.
I didn't say it was, but I had a much better time watching a Blue Velvet than that.
Listen, Lost Highway does not leave you feeling all good and warm and happy.
There's just no scenes that stand out that are just he's having a goof.
Yeah, it's not Lynch's goof movie. I hate to break it to you. There's a good one where the cops are interviewing them after they get the first tape and they're completely inept. That's a good one. That's a goof scene.
Yeah, Robert Loggia is pretty funny.
Yeah, and then mostly, it's
he's a goofball.
Robert Blake being a creep. That's most of the movie.
Yes. So I got 2 blind buys and then 1 favorite. From this year, and I think you can guess the favorite. It has a fiddle in it.
Fiddler on the Roof.
No,
I have no idea what you're talking about. Then
Heaven's Gate.
Oh, of course.
You remember the fiddle
not only
scene
does it have a fiddle, it has fiddle in it.
It has the fiddle scene.
Well, they'll be fiddling.
I love that movie. That was such a treat. I had no idea that it was going to be fun.
There might be more fiddle in that scene than there is in the entire Fiddler on the Roof movie.
I wouldn't doubt it. I got Arsenic and Old Lace.
I got that movie on Netflix once on DVD.
Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, it was all right.
And Frownland.
Well, I've not heard of this one.
This is Ronald Brownstein, who worked with the Safdies. I believe he's the lead in Daddy Longlegs. You know what? You should watch that one. Get that one.
Okay. Yeah, I gotta start keeping a list, because there was one I thought next time they go on sale, I'll get this. I cannot remember at all what it is. I gotta have a Criterion wish list, and then when a sale comes, I'm ready to go. We're all right, down the list we go.
It would also be helpful for friends who want to get good gifts.
Okay. I'll just have to peruse
the
Criterion site. I don't know, Joe. I don't know. I really thought there was there one we did kind of recently?
Well, that was the thing. We did the
I got the Monty Hellman
shooting
stuff.
And the Monty Hellman one.
Was I waiting for that? And I just said, fuck it. I'm going for it because we were doing Ride the Whirlwind. I don't know.
Yeah, and we already did BBC. Well, we're doing that right now, actually.
I want to say it's an Asian director. Is there a Kurosawa one?
Oh, yeah, no, it's Takeout. Right?
Takeout?
Didn't you? It's not, no, it's not the one.
F is Takeout.
Okay, it's not the one then.
All right.
Let's move on.
That at least. I might have to wait until the next sale. No, I do not want Takeout Food Google. Yeah, I've not heard of this movie.
It's the Sean Baker movie that he did with Shi Ching Sao.
Well, I do love me some Sean Baker. Is there a Spike Lee one? Does it just Do the Right Thing, or is there anything else he's got?
No, there's tons of Spike Lee on the Criterion Collection. Yeah, but no, I think there's 2.5 hours left, so you should definitely look now if you want to get some. But yes, I only really I couldn't really spend too much money, so I was like,
so you
maybe I should
only
just
got
get
3.
one. Well, I got 3 because I forgot, and then I looked in my email. I had a $50 gift card from Criterion.
Ooh.
So I only paid $18.
There you go.
Movies, so I was very happy. I've been doing their flash sales for like years now, and then I guess you accrue points if you have like a little login. And I've accrued enough points that they gave me $50.
Do I got a login?
You should definitely go into
Does
this.
the pre-order stuff go on sale? Maybe that's what's on my list.
As long as it's, I think the pre-order stuff. Well, just wait till next month because Barnes and Noble does their flash sale next month.
Yeah, when does the Hanukkah stuff come out? Is that in like December or whatever?
Yeah, but you can still. I think you can still pre-order it, and it'll come in like just separately.
Okay, I'll look at that then. Worst case, I think it comes out in like January, and I'll just do the February sale with it.
Yep. Yeah, they have them every few months. It's not like
Yeah.
it's too long.
I don't need that one day and date.
Ah, we've definitely watched some Cameron Mitchell. Oh, because he was in like the shooting, right? The lead character in this, or one of the lead characters. That's not Bruce Dern.
He was in the shooting.
All right, you ready? I'm ready.
All right, let's do it.